Socialism. It's a label we hear a lot. It's been around a while, a long time. But in American politics, it's kind of applied in an unusual way. The notion that every American would pay into an insurance fund so that everyone who retired could live in basic dignity, we called it Social Security as Democrats. The Republicans called it socialism. Do they want to remove Social Security as a socialist program? I don't know. I listened carefully as the Republican leader starts talking about the weaknesses of the Democratic philosophy. And then in the 1960s, Lyndon Baines Johnson looked around America and saw a new class of impoverished Americans growing by the day. They were our parents and grandparents. And he decided one of their biggest problems was paying for their medical expenses and their prescription drugs eventually. So he proposed a federal program called Medicare for everyone who reached the age of 65 in America, regardless of whether they were rich or poor. Boy, think about that. The critics call that socialism. The notion that we would help everybody, that we would collect money from all workers during their work experience and then take care of our parents and grandparents so that they could live longer, more independently. Socialism. And now that we are discussing, and we are at an early stage, changing that Medicare program to extend its benefits to include fundamental and basic things that have been sitting there for decades waiting to be addressed. Eyeglasses, hearing aids, dental work. We know what a difference those things make in the lives of everyone, but how critically important they are to those who are elderly. And yes, the junior senator from Vermont has proposed that we extend Medicare benefits to include those protections, but he's not alone. Moderates within the Democratic caucus across the board agree. It's time to take a serious look at that. And the Republican leader tells us we're flirting with socialism again. I don't think that a poor elderly person without dentures who can't eat their food can be ignored, nor helping them is socialism. And I might also add one thing that's important. He cites the CARES Act. I remember it well. It was a little over a year ago, last year. The pandemic was just kicking off, and there was proposed this CARES Act, over $1 trillion, might have been the biggest bill of all times when it was passed. It was proposed under the Trump administration with the Democratic Congress, and it ended up with the strong bipartisan roll call. I voted for it. Virtually every Democratic senator joined every Republican senator to make that a reality. Billions of dollars to deal with the pandemic. Socialist? I don't think so. It was America family coming together through their government to address a crisis. That's exactly what happened. So what happened when we had a new president, when Donald Trump was gone? And yes, he is gone, despite the fact that he doesn't know it. What happened when we had a new president who decided he wanted to put together a rescue plan when he was first elected, as Joe Biden did? This rescue plan addressed some fundamentals. First, it kept the promise that Donald Trump made that $1,400 more was coming to every family in America. Really? Rich or poor, $1,400? Sounds socialistic to me, but it was a Trump idea, and it was the Biden rescue plan that pulled it off. And then those vaccines, we can only thank the Lord and the great researchers who put those together, but they were just a theory and just an inventory until Joe Biden passed his American Rescue Plan and we found a way to administer those COVID-19 vaccines across America. A dramatic effort. That was paid for by the American Rescue Plan as well. And money, loans for businesses to open and get started after the pandemic. Money for schools to make sure they're safe when the kids return to them this fall. When that American Rescue Plan was put together by President Biden and offered, in this chamber, I'm sorry to report not a single Republican, not one Republican senator supported it. I hope they've had second thought since then. Administering those vaccines has given us hope in America, and I hope more people will take advantage of it. But that was bipartisanship that had really hit the rocks. It took the Democrats and Kamala Harris to make it a reality. So when I hear these critiques of socialism and partisanship from the other side, I just wonder how far would they go in the name of ending socialism, whether they would include Medicare, Social Security, programs which have historically been labeled as socialistic.